Choujin X Chapter 40 Part 2. Now, if I had one word to describe this chapter, it would be polarizing. We went from a full kitchen flex to one of the most brutal deaths / rebirths that I think we've seen this far in this series. And it was, look, man, PALMA. We did not have to do PALMA like that. This was like watching a baby die. And I know this happened in the later portion of the chapter, right? But she's on my mind right now. I want to start with PALMA because that shit was fucked up, right? That shit was brutal. Now, on the night that PALMA finds the successful formula for this modified Zember, you know, the mix that will revive the dead as Choujin, she drifts into a sleep, which gives us a slice of her backstory. Now, here we find that PALMA was found by a group of scavengers after her home, Morth, was declared a disaster zone, and what led this group to her was her Choujin awakening. Now, between her dialogue and the fact that she's carrying around her parents after they have died, we see what influences PALMA's power as she struggles with death. But come on, Sato, what's up with this, dog? I don't know if this is a coincidence. I don't know if Shui Ishida is just, tying together a theme, or is he just trying to say, look, bruh, Sato knows more than he's leading on. However, in this flashback, PALMA expresses her desire to live, which is pretty chilling considering what happens to her directly after her nap, but this also reminded me of when we discovered Ellie's true power. Now, when Ellie first awakened as a Choujin, of course it happened during Chandra's plane attack, but back then we only thought Ellie had become another smoke Choujin. Now, down the line during the battle at the Beast Isles, Ellie is pushed to the point where she becomes fixated on survival as Chandra tests her limits. It even gets to a point where she contemplates whether or not it would be okay to kill him. Ultimately, she tries but fails as Chandra raises. When Chandra takes the upper hand of the fight, we see Ellie's life flash before her eyes as she begins to think of her goals and her desire to live. This is when we see her true power revealed. Now, surely PALMA can relate because this whole tail end of the chapter, she's basically just begging for her life until she is pushed to the point where she must inject herself with this new version of Zember. The main difference between her and Ellie is that Ellie evolved naturally, or at least discovered more of her ability naturally, whereas we see PALMA now evolve into something tougher through Zember, right? Because before this, when she was getting ran through by that zombie, I was just thinking to myself, like, dog, she's not even a combat type of Choujin. She just does this little blood manipulation, which gets these people back to life. But other than that, she's not throwing no hands, right? But now we have a beastified PALMA who has entered a state of chaos. We see she has hyena parts, which gives us a connection to the zoo and Azuma. However, I do not believe that she has enough of a bond with him. So currently, if anything were to happen to PALMA, I don't really see Azuma getting irate or going overboard. But I do believe that the hyena symbolism could indicate losses relating to Azuma. Most recently, we can tie Azuma directing the hyena to the ocean, where it would eventually be found dead, as well as meeting PALMA there. But before there was PALMA, the hyena was first a reference to Tokio. Azuma mourns the dead hyena as a symbol of losing his position as Tokio's personal hero, where we can also see the birds soaring above them. Now, as for PALMA, I do not believe that this is her end. I don't think she's going to die yet because, for one, I don't really think Batista was anticipating this, so he still needs to retrieve the version of Zember that PALMA has influenced or created, which makes me believe that there's going to be a race to retrieve PALMA. We also seen something similar like this happen with Shibazaki. We know that Tokio, if anybody, could bring her back down to earth, but there is that, that new modified Zember within her, so it could be a little bit harder than last time. He might have to catch a body, but I don't really see that happening just yet. Now, as for Tokio, right, I'm ready for him to catch a L, bruh. I'm sorry, we've been meat riding Tokio for the longest now. I feel like every other chapter, he's just flexing on us, right? Which is a good thing. We know he's grown, but I'm very excited to see what that fatal mistake will be in the future, because Sato keeps hinting at that, like, no matter what happens, you always make at least one mistake. And we see he had a dark backstory back when he was in Iwato, but I'm ready for him to, I want to see him take an L for once, right? Because I just been like, bro, he was cooking this chapter, right? But all in all, super solid. I'm ready for next chapter. It may be a while, but I'm here for the wait.